Sometimes we find we are unable to control an emotional reaction to something. Emotions can bubble up inside us that are disproportionate perhaps to what's just happened, and we can struggle to control them. And we lash out, or we hide, or we freeze. Outbursts like these are like an oil warning light on a car. They tell us that something is wrong. Now, an oil warning light gives us a clue as to where the problem might be, but it doesn't tell us exactly what's wrong. Further investigation will be needed to find the root cause of a problem in a car. Similarly, we need to do some further investigation to understand the root cause of an unexpected emotional reaction. Freud said that unexpressed emotions never die, they are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. And that can be what's going on for us when emotions catch us by surprise. To help us understand how that can work, Maurice Rodham developed a model which he called the emotional mug. This model is a way of helping us sort of get a grasp of what can happen when we hold on to past hurts and upsets. If I have a mug that I keep on pouring liquid into, it will eventually overflow. And the analogy he uses is that we have a mug, a container inside of us for our emotions. And if we don't properly deal with those emotions, they build up over time. Now, I'm pretty sure that all of us have had experiences in life where people have said or done things that have hurt or upset us. Whether that was as a child at school, or as a teenager starting out in life, or as an adult in the workplace, we've all experienced times when we've been hurt. The normal response when someone hurts or upsets us is that we feel angry or sad. Whether the emotion we feel is due to something simple like our adult children leaving the kitchen a mess again, or something more significant like an untruth being told about us, or a false accusation, or someone causing us physical or mental harm. Whatever has caused it, if we feel angry or sad, that's a good indicator that someone has done something that's hurt or upset us. What happens next depends on what we do with that anger or sadness. With the more significant hurts in our lives, then if we don't properly deal with the emotions and we let them fester, then they can grow into resentment, and that can make us bitter towards that person or even about life in general. If those hurts are significant, then in time we can even grow to hate the person involved and fear meeting them. And this whole mess can make us feel guilty and stressed, and our emotional mug is full to capacity. Then the slightest of hurts for any reason can result in the mug overflowing. The oil warning light comes on. It isn't the latest thing that's necessarily caused the reaction. It's a history of unprocessed emotions due to previous hurts and upsets. If our mug is always full, then every hurt, no matter how big or small, causes an overflow, and that tends to show itself in different ways. Firstly, we might look for a quick fix. We feel bad and we want to feel better, so we do something that makes us feel good, anything to mask the pain. In extremes, this might involve excessive drinking, or looking for an artificial high, or chasing sex or porn. We might find ourselves compulsively gambling, or looking for a new partner because we hope a new relationship will sort out our problems. Or the desire for a feeling of well-being might result in something like overeating or excessive shopping. Now, there's no need to get paranoid about this. There is nothing wrong with alcohol or eating or shopping. For example, most of us have got back from a stressful meeting or difficult conversation and said, I need a drink. And I know some people that do enjoy a bit of retail therapy. That doesn't mean that your emotional mug is full. However, when our emotional mug is always overflowing, then these things can become a crutch. We can become dependent on them in order to block out the mess in our lives, in our mug, and to feel better. The reality is that these quick fixes just mask the problem and ultimately end up causing us more hurt. The second way that our overflowing mug can manifest itself is in destructive tendencies. We can become excessively and unfairly critical of people or events, or we can be verbally and physically violent. People sometimes say that vandals are bored, but it's far more likely that their emotional mugs are overflowing. A final way that our destructive tendencies can show themselves is in self-harm. Now, please note, not all violence or self-harming is a result of a full emotional mug, but they can be a symptom of a full mug, an oil warning light that something isn't right. The third way that a full emotional mug can show itself is in physical symptoms, and that might be anything from sleeplessness to rashes to erratic menstrual cycle to depression or even loss of a sex drive. I mean, not all depression is a result of a full emotional mug, but some can be. And the same goes for all other physical symptoms that are listed here. Please take medical advice if you've got any ongoing symptoms that are causing you concern. However, sometimes the oil warning light of a full emotional mug can show itself in these ways. The challenge is that it's not just one person in our life that's hurt or upset us. It has been many. And people will continue to hurt or upset us, either deliberately or unintentionally, throughout our lives. So how we deal with the anger or sadness we feel is important. If our mug is overflowing, how do we drain it? How do we manage all this? Well, we'll look at that tomorrow. I hope you can join us.